Enigma, and I'm a qualified body language analyst and private investigator. And today I'm going to be reacting to one of the most famous scenes in Star Wars, where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon duel Darth Maul in the Duel of the Fates. So, let's take a look.
We'll handle this.
We'll take the long way.
So Darth Maul does a micro-expression of a lip press here after he takes off his hood. When we experience strong emotions such as fear or rage, we experience sympathetic activation, which triggers the defense mechanism. This results in muscle tension being generated across the body. However, Maul consciously tries to hide it here, to appear composed. However, the mask slips up slightly, and we see this lip press here. He's trying to appear calm and confident, but he's likely extremely nervous. So we actually hear Maul growl slightly here when he's about to fight, and this is caused by his amygdala-driven aggression taking hold of his PAG system, which controls speech and noises. When in a state of aggression, higher cognition becomes deprioritized, allowing for primal threat sounds like this to occur. It shows again that he's deeply emotional here. He then expresses what's called bruxism when he clenches his jaw, which is part of what's called gate control theory. When under extreme stress, we clench our jaws as a method of reducing our ability to feel pain. The clenching increases sensory input to the nervous system, which actually dampens the pain signals. So we can see the difference between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's training here. Qui-Gon has no visible muscle tension on his face, nor anything that indicates any form of physiological arousal. He's completely calm, which is extremely abnormal given that he's in a life or death situation. Obi-Wan, on the other hand, is expressing mouth tension as well as an elevated respiration rate. His mouth is wide open before expressing extreme muscle tension. Qui-Gon's extensive training has strengthened his prefrontal cortex, allowing him to suppress his amygdala from triggering the defense mechanism. This then stops the sympathetic nervous system from ever becoming triggered, allowing him to remain calm and focused. So we see something super subtle but actually really revealing about Qui-Gon here. When he deactivates his lightsaber, we see him tense his whole body up, especially his jaw. It's extremely brief, which classifies it as a micro-expression. He's now beginning to show signs of sympathetic activation. This subtle leak shows that his defense mechanism has become triggered, which is why he starts to meditate here. He realizes that his emotions are creeping in, clouding his judgment. And this is actually true. When the sympathetic nervous system becomes activated, the brain shifts priority towards survival and the threat response, which actually reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex, which makes conscious thinking far more difficult. So Qui-Gon meditates and does a long controlled exhale here in an attempt to stimulate his parasympathetic nervous system. This system is the brain's rest and digest function and is used to calm us down after an encounter with a stressor. By doing this, it reduces his physiological arousal and restores his cognitive function, allowing him to think clearly and maintain composure. Obi-Wan is showing signs again of increased respiration and sympathetic activation, and is extremely emotional here. And we then see Qui-Gon do something really interesting. He pulls back, looking at Maul whilst also tensing his brow. This is really revealing. He's confused and deeply concerned here, and he expresses this brow tense as a result of extreme cognitive load. He's realizing that Maul is fighting like no other opponent he's ever faced before, and is deliberately trying to draw him in close as part of a trap. This is the moment he realizes that he's going to lose the duel, and we actually see Qui-Gon having to retreat and build space. When Qui-Gon gets stabbed, Obi-Wan immediately displays signs of aggression, and we see him experience what's called the Globus response. He swallows and clears his throat as a result of the defense mechanism, triggering his muscles in preparation to encounter a threat. He's extremely angry here, seeing his mentor die. Obi-Wan is panicked here, and he instinctively moves his body when Maul moves. He's on edge and reacts impulsively, and this is far less calm and collected than Qui-Gon. And Maul picks up on this, realizing that he's far more impulsive and emotional than his calm and collected master, and this likely gives him a massive boost in confidence. Obi-Wan expresses extreme facial tension here as he duels. He's overwhelmed with emotion and is distracted by his feelings. Like before, he's experiencing a reduction in his cognitive ability as a result of his defense mechanism becoming triggered. And this is how he loses the duel. Maul defeats him here and catches him off guard with a force push. So Obi-Wan aligns with the Force in preparation to strike back, and Maul senses that something's changed. Maul is overconfident to the point of arrogance here, but the moment he feels the shift in the Force, his face and mouth rapidly tense up, and this is his defense mechanism becoming triggered. He knows that something has changed, and his brain prepares to defend himself. But Obi-Wan takes him completely off guard. Maul suddenly realizes that the duel was not in fact over, but by that point it was too late. It's a really well acted and detailed scene.